Axie Infinity Season 19 has been with us for 2 days, and today we're going to go through the best zero-cost cards that you can get for your Axies. So let's jump right into it. We're going to divide those cards into offensive as well as defensive. So in the defensive zero-cost card, what we have is the Cottontail. Now, Cottontail is a ranged zero-cost card that's on the tail from a beast. It used to have 0 attack and 0 defense, but it currently has 30 shield. Now, the shield was added in Season 19. It's very important because it didn't have any shield before. It was close to useless, but now that you have the extra shield and it's the only one of 2 energy generation cards, it makes it very useful, as Nemo has been nerfed. Nemo used to have 30 attack and now it has 20 attack, so Cottontail takes the spot of number 1 zero cost card when it comes to defensive cards. There's not much I can say. It makes it very useful if you are running a beast and you want to combo your card with a Ronin. If you are running a mid lane Dusk, let's say, and you can't get a Nemo for energy generation, you want a little bit more shield because you already have offensive cards, you can go for the Cottontail for the extra 30 shield. And trust me guys, many cards have been nerfed when it comes to the damage, so 30 shield is gonna play a large part when it comes to the arena battles, because skill has also been nerfed a little bit, so Aquas deal like less damage overall, and every single Axie deals a little bit less damage, so having that 30 shield is gonna prove very useful. Another defensive card that is a zero cost is obviously Bidens. Now, poison decks have been nerfed like crazy in this patch. Garish Worm has received a nerf, Grass Snake has received a nerf, and the Yam has received a nerf. All of those nerfs were relatively small, but still nerfs nevertheless. And if you want to be secure when you are playing the arenas, what you want to have on your front lane or on your back lane as a zero cost is a Bidens. This is the highest shield that you can get for a zero cost. Now, Bidens can be quite expensive depending on the Axie that you are looking at, so you can replace it with Mint, and that will prove to be okay as well if you're not really keen on having that Bidens effect, which removes the debuffs from your Axie. Mint does the same thing, except it removes a debuff from your teammate that is directly in front of you rather than from your Axie that is playing it. So what you can have is like a Reptile that's full damage without a zero cost in your mid lane, and then have like a quick Axie like an Aqua behind that Reptile, and you can use the Mint to remove any debuffs that this Reptile might have, and therefore keeping it longer alive. This is something that you might want to consider when you are building your team. But Mint and Bidens is the highest shield zero cost, and it's really gonna be good for your team if you are lacking that shield. It's much better than like sticking something that's like a 1 cost with high shield and relatively small damage. Just having those zero costs are gonna be good for you when you are building a well-rounded, efficient, energy efficient team. Next on the list we have Cocoon. Now, Cocoon has received a little bit of a nerf. It went from 40 shield down to 30 shield, so it's not as good as it used to be, but it still gives you the attack plus. So it is a defensive card, but it still gives you that offensive capability. It is very good on your back lane, so you can stack those Cocoons and then go for the kill, especially if you have like a high damage attack on, let's say, your Aqua, like a Blue Moon. Cocoon is going to work very well, but you can also use it on a variety of Axies. Let's say a Dusk that has a high damage card like the Thorny with the Croc, the classic Beefinator, but it did get 10 less shield, so I'm putting it a little bit lower down the list of defensive cards because it's not as good as it used to be. But because every Axie card has received a little bit of a debuff when it comes to the damage overall, Cocoon is still gonna be very high up in the tier list when it comes to defensive zero cost cards, providing you with the attack plus for the extra damage, but also increasing your speed. We are still playing the arena at the end of the day, so speed does matter. Even though they changed the morale and the skill factor, speed is gonna be very crucial. And if you have Cocoon on your Axies, your Axies are gonna be quicker. It's just the way that it works. And on the last zero cost card that I want to mention in the defensive sector is Confident. Now, Confident didn't receive any buffs. It's the same card like it was before Season 19 came into fruition, but they have changed the morale system. The way morale works right now is that the more morale you have, the higher damage your critical strikes are. So if you are playing Confident together with Ronin, not only is it easier for you to use the Ronin because you don't have to play 3 cards that cost 1 energy. You can use the Confident to play with the Ronin, therefore you remain a little bit more energy efficient, and you also increase your morale, therefore your Ronin is going to deal more damage if you are running on a beast. This card is going to be a little bit more expensive because not many people were breeding Confident beasts up to this point, so you might have to wait a little bit. We're going to check the marketplace at the end of this list, but Confidence is something that you want to consider. It's also going to give you more last stand bars, so if you use 2 Confident you can get up to 5 last stand bars, and therefore you can use like Risky Beast, which has 200% damage when you are attacking from last stand. There's a couple of cool combination of cards that you can use with the Confident when you are running a beast, and those are definitely worth checking out with the new morale system that they have introduced. The last one that I want to mention that I forgot about is Spiky Wing. Now Spiky Wing has 10 shield, has 30 shield and 10 attack, and what it does is apply Fragile. So you attack extra into the opponent's shield with your next card. The only issue with Spiky Wing is that it is a card on the back, and on the back you have many cool cards like the Risky Beast, like the Ronin, like the Blue Moon on an Aqua. So the Spiky Wing is very hard to implement, but it can be a good card in the right situation, especially now that they have buffed cards like the Red Ear, which has 145 shield. So it's something that you want to keep in mind when you are looking through the marketplace. A Spiky Wing backlaner might be good enough for the arena if you find the right combination of cards. Moving over to the attacking, to the offensive zero cost cards, what we have at the top of the tier list is Twin Tail. Twin Tail has received a buff going from 30 attack to 40 attack. This means that when you combo it with another card, it's gonna deal 80 damage. And because it's a bug card, if you are attacking, let's say a plant or a reptile, it's gonna deal almost 100 damage for a zero cost. Now that's insanely high for a zero cost. So that's what makes it at the top of the tier list. It's gonna be hard to find an Axie with a Twin Tail that also has a good set of cards because they haven't been bred before, because it was a useless card. So you're gonna have to wait a little bit. Once the breeders realize that Twin Tail is good enough, they're gonna start breeding it a bit more. And for the same reason, you might want to look at Popeye, which has 70 damage now rather than 60, so it's just 10 damage less than the Twin Tail, but you don't need to combo it with another card. You can just pop it and then maybe finish off an Axie of your opponent. Let's say a plant is low health, you don't really want to use 2 cards, you just pop the Popeye, 70 damage into a plant, probably a little bit more like 80, and you can just finish off your opponent's Axie using that card. So Popeye is another card that received a buff and it now deals 70 damage, and it's worth looking at when you are looking for an efficient zero cost if you already have some defensive cards like Timber, which might prove to be useful in season 19 as well. Another high damage card that's a zero cost is the Hero. Now Hero again is on the back. I found an Aqua that has Hero and I use it currently, and it is proving me very well. It can be difficult to implement Hero into a good set of cards on an Axie because it is a back card. Again, Twin Tail and Popeye are both tail cards, so they are a little bit easier to implement because the other cards are quite straightforward. You can go for something like the Cute Bunny, the Tiny Turtle, and then you just have the zero cost on the tail, which is much easier to find on the marketplace rather than thinking where Hero might fit. I mean, Hero is a very good zero cost if you are looking at a beast or a mech, but if you are trying to put it on like an Aqua or a Dusk, it can be more difficult to find the right fit. But it's still a 60 damage card, which is worth looking at when it comes to high damage zero cost cards. Last zero cost card that I wanted to mention is the Postfight. Now on the screen you can see that Postfight used to be 140 damage. This website hasn't updated the cards yet. In season 18 it was 120 damage, and in season 19 it's 110 damage. So just 30 more damage than the Twin Tail, but you lose 30% of your max health. Now this is a big punishment, and many people have realized that Postfight is not good anymore, especially with the nerf to Double Talk as well. Birds really have taken it, and there also has been an adjustment in the skill factor, so birds really struggle to one-shot an Aqua right now. Even if you just put up 100 shield on your Aqua, birds are gonna struggle to kill it with, let's say, eggshell, blackmail, and double Postfight. It's just not gonna cut it. Postfight now deals 117 damage in combo when attacking an aqua, and it used to deal 140 damage, so 23 damage less into an aqua, and that's why I would recommend for you to stay away from Postfight unless you are looking for a beast with Axie Kiss. Let's look through the marketplace to find some examples of the new implemented cards. Now, something that you might want to look at when you are looking at a defensive zero cost card that is generating you energy, that is Cottontail, and what you might want to put it on is actually a plant. Now, if you are still going to be facing a lot of double aquas, I'm not sure how the meta is going to look like, but let's assume the double aquas are still going to be there on the lower MMRs. What you want to put is a plant at the back lane with Cottontail. So what you can slap on the back is like a bone sail, pumpkin, shelter, just one of those high shield cards on the back, and together with Cottontail you can really do some damage. You can go for beach, and then you can go for like zigzag or serious. You can even go herbivore, if I'm honest. But these cards you can see right here, $730 for a beach Cottontail plant, that's a virgin, and then another one next to it, 733 with pumpkin. And you can see why it's so good. You can generate energy while providing yourself with shield, and then you can heal and get high shield, and then get a card draw if your opponent doesn't break it. But if he does break it, you get the extra damage with the beach. And this was purchased for 0.057 ETH on October 31st, so that was probably like $250, and now the guy has listed it for $700. So that might be a worthy pickup if you do manage to get it in the correct price. The only one that's looking alright is this one, but I wouldn't recommend it because it has the eye and the ear from an aqua, and you don't really need that. What you want is maximum health on a plant, but that's something that you might consider with the Cottontail. You can see how it is becoming useful rather than looking for those Nemos that were very, very dominant in season 18. Another one of those defensive zero cost is Confident. Now, Confident can be used with Risky Beast and Ronin on a beast, and then you can also go for like Dual Blade, which deals extra damage on a critical strike, but if you increase your morale, then you're obviously gonna deal a little bit more damage on top of that as well. And then you can go for like Hare or Sheba, or even Rice, but these cards are going to be extremely expensive. Rice is the cheapest one that you can get, which is still quite decent, but you can see the speed is not the best for the arena. If you just delete Rice, I was about to buy these Axies for like $250 last season, and you can see the price has spiked up to $609, and you would never look twice at those Axies in the last season if they had Confident. But now that Confident and morale factor is quite useful, you might really consider those Axies to be very, very good. You can see right here, they used to be bought for 0.09 on October 18th, where Ethereum wasn't that high, and 8 hours ago someone bought it for 0.125 Ethereum. You can see how the price of a beast Axie has jumped up in value when it comes to the arena battles. And lastly, what I wanted to show you is a pickup of mine. I decided to go for something like this. A reptile that's full health, 55 health, 40 speed, and it is a reptile on the mid lane. It has the bone sail for the high shield, high damage card. It also has the Kotaro, which has 85 attack and 30 shield. It has went through some buffs as well. In Scissor to slow down some of my opponent's aquas if I am facing them, and the Popeye with 70 attack for the zero cost. So it's a pretty well balanced card. I managed to pick it up quite cheaply when the update went live, and it's not that common to find something like this, and it's gonna be difficult to find something with Twin Tail or Popeye, but it might be worth exploring the market to find gems like this one. If I give it to a scholar, it can prove to be very, very good. And with the Kotaro, I can generate a lot of energy. It has only 40 speed, so I'm often going to be able to use the Kotaro and generate some energy, and on the backlane I can have something that is energy intensive, and I can use that extra energy from the Kotaro to have that backlane combo like a beast that has 4 damage cards. So that's something that I was looking at, and I bought it when the update came out, and that's something that I would recommend for you guys to look at as well. Another pickup that I did was an Aqua with Twin Tail. Now I'm not sure how good this one is going to be. I can't actually see it in my equipment. Oh, it's right here. It's a virgin Virgin Aqua with Perch, Babylonia, Risky Fish and Twin Tail. Now the Risky Fish is not the best, but if you are using Risky Fish with Twin Tail, it might be good enough. It has the Perch, it has the Babylonia for the surprise attack, but the Twin Tail also deals 80 damage, like it's really high damage, and I got it for dirt cheap, like 0.062 Ethereum as a Virgin, and it might just be good enough to give to a scholar. We'll test it, we'll see how it goes. But that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about this patch and the updates that they did to the zero cost cards in the comment section down below, and subscribe to the channel for daily Axie Infinity content, and I will see you in the next one.